Hi, how's it going? Resident of Collinwood here, and I'm here to review the movie Mandy, starring Nicolas Cage. This movie is very strange, but very entertaining. Nicolas Cage plays a lumberjack of sorts who lives out in the middle of the woods with his wife, and they get abducted. Well, at first, she has this dream about this guy, and he sees her in a dream somehow, and you're not sure how at first. And then the two of them are abducted by these creatures who could take human-like form. They're human, but they're also creatures who could take human form. To me, and I've said this, it, they make me think of the Leviathan people from Dark Shadows. I feel Mandy did the Leviathan people better than the original Dark Shadows did. And I'll get into that at the end of this because I don't want to take away from Mandy. This movie is just entertaining as hell. I have not seen something this entertaining from a sci-fi horror standpoint since Aliens. And to me, this was entertaining and fun. I mean, you get past the graphic stuff of the nudity and stuff, which sometimes there's nudity in movie that it's got to be done, and that was just one of those movies. It was a sequence that needed done, and it really, if you go back and look at that scene set the tone for a lot of what was to come, and it just did. You know, she rejects him, laughing at him, even after they ejected her with stuff. She's laughing at him and completely rejected him, and they burn her alive for it in front of Nicolas Cage's character. And then they stab him, which completely sets him off. He gets free of the barbed wire. Um, he's just distraught over his wife being burned alive in front of him. Who wouldn't? Um, and he just goes completely off the deep end. Now, some might debate that Nicolas Cage's character is high, and that's why he's seeing the characters that way. Actually, he's not high when he first sees them or encounters them, or he's not high when he gets captured and he's got the nail in his hand. They really are creatures that could take human form, and they have I don't know what kind of ability they have. They seem to have some sort of, I call it black arts ability. It's like the darkest. They have dark art power, but it's not maybe necessarily power. They're experts in the black arts. Nicolas Cage's character says they're anti-religious. I actually disagree with that. I think they just have their own sort of religion that they follow and rules that they follow. And I'm going to get back to that because there's something in this movie I want to discuss. Nicolas Cage starts killing these people, or these creatures, I should say. Um, and man, Nicolas Cage, to me, this movie is one of his best performances. I always say 8mm is one of his most underrated performances. This movie, to me, and I've seen a lot of his movies, is one of his, to me, it's top three all time. One of his best performances. Um, and I know that's saying a lot because he's had a long career. But Mandy is definitely top three. To me, he should get a Best Actor nomination in the Oscars. I don't know if he will or not. That's not my call to make, but he definitely should. Um, to me, Nicolas Cage, you know how like Bruce Campbell is like the king of horror, like Hail to the King, baby. Nicolas Cage is the prince of horror, and I mean literally, because he took this movie over from then on, and it never looked back. And that's what I like too. This movie just keeps going and going and going, and it makes no apologies for what it is. It's sci-fi thriller. It's not really, when you look at this isn't a straight horror. This isn't horror, but it has horror elements and horror suggestiveness in it. But it's mainly a sci-fi thriller adventure story, and it's done really well. The cinematography is great. I love the live action from anime display. I love the just the this movie is beautiful from start to finish. That's how I would describe this movie. Beautiful, start to finish. Um, and I'm gonna get to a couple of cool scenes. Nicolas Cage meets the leader of these people, of these creatures, and he has a tiger in a cage, and he lets the tiger out. He says, "Oh man, they messed you up bad," and you could tell that these people have really, they're really entrenched in the black arts. And he says, "You want the children? Go north." And he tells them, and something tells me that this guy is at the point of, okay, you know what? Maybe they did break some of our rules too in doing this. I mean, you look at it, the girl did reject him, and they just killed her for it. I mean, really, they should have just let her go. And he goes after him for it. And then there's the other scene when he gets to their main, what he called the children's main base of operation. There's a book that Nicolas Cage opens up and is looking at, and it belongs to those creatures. Now you don't see what's in that book, and I wish we would have, because I'm wondering, were there rules and guidelines that the creatures had to follow, and maybe that's why the leader sold them out the way he did, because those set of creatures didn't. So I would have loved to seen what was in that. Obviously Nicolas Cage kills all but one, the one girl he let live, the young girl, creature girl. I call these people basically they're the Leviathan people. They feel like Leviathan people to me. What do I give this movie? Straight, even with the nudity, because I don't think it was totally senseless. I'm gonna give this a straight 10. This movie is definitely a 10. It's worth the watch. It's a hell of a ride. From just start to finish, it's really good. I liked this better than I liked Halloween. This was way better than Halloween. This was its own story, and Halloween was well what Halloween was. But I really enjoyed this movie a lot, and Nicolas Cage, man, like I said, Prince of Horror, man. You are the Prince of Horror. Sorry. The Prince of Horror. I have trouble with the way I talk. But to get the Leviathan arc with Dark Shadows real quick, I just feel the reason that wasn't done right there is just because it was being integrated with another story, and it was being rushed along, and that's plain as day. Alright guys, that's my review of Mandy. I really enjoyed that movie. It was just fun to watch. Like, share, comment, subscribe, and you guys have a good one.